My name is Patricia Meyer, founder of Laws in 2005, Labor Advocate Workers Solutions. The already established Uniting All Workers organization, formed by our group in 1993, knew they had to have the opportunity to be heard on a federal level. In order for our organization to have the power to change a law, we knew we had to take the issues to the Congress of the United States, where the laws of our country are made. Throughout the past 4 years, Laws has been approached by workers, retirees and their families from all over the country looking for a voice when they could not be heard. Throughout the next few minutes, you will be presented an inside look at what we have discovered over the years and what we are trying to do to fix it. Important that we came today. We picked 5 offices.
What you're telling us is basically she completely blew us off and got rid of the paperwork.
Then we need to work on it now, and we'll go very public.
Yeah.
There isn't time to be lost.
You need to go back and you need to turn that off.
Over the years, myself and our organization have been asked the question, why has the public not heard about the information that we have regarding General Motors Corporation and its subsidiaries? Since 2004, our organization began making regular trips to Washington, D.C. to present the information we had to the Congress of the United States, the Senate, the United States Labor Department, the Federal Bureau of Investigation, United States Wage and Hour Department, and the IRS. We then reported to the Tax Advocate Office to be protected that they would not mess up our information to the Internal Revenue. So in 2007, I became a whistleblower concerning the General Motors tax-free spinoff of the Delphi Corporation. This led me to discover that Wall Street, corporate CEOs, and the government are all responsible for the condition our country is in today. In our trips to D.C., I was given several opportunities to speak with Congresswoman Marcy Kaptur of Ohio.
What about this? I mean, why are these bigwigs, these executives in the financial industry getting these perks when their companies were being bailed out with U.S. taxpayer dollars?
Because no one is standing up to them.
So they can just get away with it?
They just get away with it. There's a culture of greed and excess that operates at the highest levels, and there are many people that are intimidated by that. We need a country that changes its values from one of greed and excess to a culture of responsibility and prudence.
For the last several years, our organization has done just that, stand up to the government. And in those years, we have discovered that the government is just as much part of the problem and cover-up as the corporations who are committing these crimes.
They should be leaders in helping our country dig its way out of this financial mess that we're in, but they're part of the problem, not part of the solution.
I work for General Motors and American Axle, and I'm receiving a pension check from Delphi, a company I never worked for.
The bankruptcy filing. Something happened, and the government allowed Delphi to go bankrupt when it's actually General Motors.
I've been to Washington, D.C. I've been to Congressman Camp's office asking for his help, and he hit a brick wall just like I did trying to get my records. I've been to the Labor Department. I've been to Carl Levin's office.
I mean, they got robbed. Our government let them get robbed. Now our government is basically trying to help them. They're trying to help them steal money. Without a thorough investigation, you cannot figure out where all the money went. And we have a documentation around here in this house that would scare you.
How does this affect you? Rita Ertman, the woman you just saw, retired from General Motors and American Axle in 2003. Since that date, she has received her pension checks from a company called Delphi. The IRS confirmed Rita's employment record as showing that she had indeed never worked for a company called Delphi. In November of 2009, Rita received a letter from the PBGC, Pension Benefit Guarantee Corporation, informing her that the company Delphi, in which she had never been employed by, had filed bankruptcy and that her pension would now be moved to the PBGC at a discounted rate. Let us put things in perspective. The United States government, meaning you and I, are now accepting full responsibility for the pensions of 1,200 salaried General Motors employees, without our knowledge or consent, using our tax dollars. More importantly, the question that we have been asking for 3 years still remains unanswered. Why were 1,200 General Motors salary employees being paid their pensions by Delphi and not by General Motors? As you probably know, the United States gave General Motors $60 billion in bailout money. That's the largest amount of bailout money ever given to an automotive company in U.S. history.
Joe, how did they get away with this? I mean, is this just an accountability loophole in the TARP program? Executives get their salaries cut, so the companies then turn around and just increase their perks?
Anderson, that's exactly how it sounds, and we're told that Kenneth Feinberg, the guy the Obama administration has named to keep his eye on the largest bailout participants, could actually weigh in on perks. He's expected to make some decisions about executive compensation by the end of the month. And we do know the administration has been turning up the heat lately. The problem is, Feinberg is only focusing on the top 7 recipients of government money.
What you don't know is this. General Motors committed fraud. They cooked their books, lied to the American people, took our money, and used it to build plants overseas. We have hard evidence and much documentation to back up these statements, as well as an informant who witnessed firsthand and holds vital information as to how GM and Chrysler illegally laundered their funds. This documentary will show the general public what has been hidden from them for years, and the truth that they deserve to know. On October 22, 2009, the Laws Organization traveled to Washington, D.C. and entered the offices of a number of senators and congressmen in an attempt to ask them the answer to this question, face to face. The meetings were documented on both video and audio by a producer to be used in this documentary. Shortly after these meetings were conducted, the Laws Organization received documents from several of the offices we visited stating that we could no longer use the video and audio media obtained during the meetings in our documentary. Why are we not allowed to share the conversations that were held with these offices to the general public? As a direct result of the withholding of this information, the completion of our documentary has been put on hold. We have tried to come forward with this information for several years and have been shut down again and again. We feel that we have no choice but to go public and reveal the information we have through this documentary. We are again asking the government to allow us to use the material we obtained for our documentary in the offices in D.C. Although we do respect their right for privacy, we question their reasoning for refusing permission to use the video and audio from the meetings that were held on October 22, 2009 at the offices of the U.S. Congress and Senate buildings regarding important information about the General Motors cover-up.
And number 1 on our list, GMAC Financial Services and its CEO, Alvaro de Molina. He got almost $5 million in perks, including $2.3 million for using the corporate jet.
ABC News reported the big 3 CEOs flew to Washington to ask for taxpayer money on costly company jets.
It's almost like seeing a guy show up at the soup kitchen in high hat and tuxedo.
I'm going to ask the 3 executives here to raise their hand if they flew here commercial. Let the record show no hands went up. Second, going to ask you to raise your hand if you're planning to sell your jet in place now and fly back commercial.
And $2.5 million that the company paid in taxes. So far, Mr. de Molina didn't have to. It was a 32% increase over the year before. The company told us that whopping increase is artificially high because he only joined GMAC in the middle of 2006. GMAC also says once they started getting TARP money in late 2008, they stopped using the corporate jet, stopped paying taxes, and that the CEO also gave up his bonus last year. GMAC did get $13 billion in bailout money last year.
We decided to make a final attempt to reveal the fraud and corruption, only to be shut down on October 22, 2009, for the last time. In conclusion, it was apparent to us that our only option was to bring forth our information to the public in hope that they would join us and take action in bringing back justice to America.
My name is Jonathan Petro.
and I am a 22-year-old filmmaker from Kalamazoo, Michigan. I was contracted to produce this documentary in September of 2009. Based on the documents and material presented to me to be used in this documentary, I feel that it is imperative that the general public be made aware of the full extent of corporate corruption that General Motors has committed and gotten away with in recent years. The topics being addressed in this 10-minute segment cover only very lightly the level of fraud and laundering of money that has taken place. The facts speak for themselves, and the Laws Organization holds the key to uncovering these crimes. We must take action now. I feel that it is only right and just that America hears the truth. After all, we are the ones paying the ultimate price with our money in our country in the end.
Compare that to what is being asked of auto workers. First, give up your job, move out of your community, cut your wages, and your health benefits too. And oh, by the way, we want to go after your retirement benefits, even the widows and the retirees out of those firms. Meanwhile, AIG pensioners, well, they're alive and well. Their health care benefits are not threatened. Their counterparties are kept whole. While hard-working blue-collar America is squeezed dry, they're just as happy as clams. Right now, it's Wall Street versus the American people. Surely those that work hard and make things with their hands and end up with all the injuries to prove it, with bodily wear and tear, don't they deserve some regard? Don't they have some rights? For 3 decades in an auto plant, J.P. Morgan Chase, HSBC, Wells Fargo, and the rest of the high flyers up there on Wall Street, they want to deny these folks the right to their hard-earned benefits and wages. American workers built and continue to build America while Wall Street destroys not just capital, they destroy industries, they destroy communities, they destroy people's lives. Now we know, we can see who has that power, but that isn't what America was supposed to be all about. When you work hard and you build something real for the nation's might, you expect a fair deal. And that was supposed to be the American dream for the many, not just the privileged few. Today, a real industry, auto production, gets stomped on, chewed up, spit out because Wall Street robbed the kitty. They stole our hard-earned money and continue to beg, borrow, and steal from American citizens. Sales in business after business, including the auto industry, have gone down because the bailout recipients didn't make loans. Credit is frozen. People can't buy cars. The big three is suffering. So what does Wall Street do? It gets its friends. It shills on the op-ed pages and other media to shift the blame. So who gets the blame for the strangled auto industry? It's Detroit that's the problem? No, my friends, it's Wall Street that's the problem. And it's time that we put America back on its feet again.